Up next, Russ and I are going to thank Tom Cruise for saving the film industry.
And if you like running up and down buildings and jumping off planes and jumping on couches, go ahead and subscribe to us, like this video, and click that bell to get notified for future videos.
Okay.
With Tom Cruise basically saving the cinema, saving the heart and soul of the United States of America over this past Memorial Day weekend, bringing out young and old. That's actually a couple of headlines I've seen about Top Gun Maverick coming out. It was like Tom Cruise brought the older crowd back to the theater because it's just the younger crowd that's going to see Marvel and Batman and only the things that are normally getting churned out.
I'm not trying to make history here.
I know we talked about Tom Cruise not that long ago, and one of the things you said was he's basically become a stuntman, and that's what's getting people to the theater, and this is no different, where he's basically become a jet pilot. But one of the things that I did read about Maverick, that it's also a good movie, aside from the spectacle. And not only does it blow the first one out of the water like was probably to be expected, but as far as plot,
I'm sure it blows the first one out of the water. The first one sucks.
That's right.
It's a literal reflection of what's gone on in cinema, where it's about spectacle over humanity. And he was good. I mean, Jerry Maguire didn't require him to jump out of an airplane, although it might have improved Jerry Maguire.
Sorry to hear that.
I'll tell you what, the smartest thing that I feel like he did for this Top Gun movie was not sell it out to streaming. Like, because they filmed Maverick in 2020.
That's a gamble. And I'll give you another name, though. You know who? And I swear, everyone laughs at me when I say this. James Cameron. Do not doubt those Avatar sequels. A lot of people are like, Avatar, who wants that? I've never even seen Avatar. I've heard people like, oh, it's been years and the movie sucked anyway. You watch. Those movies are going to be huge. Yeah. Avatar looked like a joke when it was coming out. Biggest movie of all time. And
it was like a religious experience for people.
Do not count out James Cameron. If there was one man who may 100% save the theatrical experience, I'm putting my money on that dude. And I'm rooting for Tom Cruise, and unfortunately, I'm rooting for Top Gun too.
Well, in honor of Tom and in honor of him saving the cinema, saving theaters, saving the movie-going experience for young and old, we thought that we could go through and see what Tom Cruise has been up to from the beginning.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the first movie of his was I saw, but...
Mine was Risky Business.
This is a movie you've recommended to me countless times that I should see.
You will love it. You will love it because you're clearly a Cruise guy. I know you like Rebecca De Mornay as well.
I'm a Cruise guy.
It's the best teen movie ever made.
You're kidding.
It's serious. It doesn't talk down. It's not cute. It's not John Hughes. It's a dude like just going through a lot of shit and a lot of pressure, and it's real. With the Tangerine Dream score and this early 80s, it's kind of dark looking. It just feels very adult, very mature. And that Tangerine Dream score to this day, one of my favorite scores of all time. There's nothing bad about that movie.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
All right, Bob Seger kind of sucks. But that scene's iconic. But all right, maybe that's the one bad thing.
And then in 1985, it was Legend, which is so crazy. Like, so soon after that even was Top Gun, but Legend...
No, but this is why I love Tom Cruise, right? He blew up on Risky Business. What did he do after that? He worked with great filmmakers. He went to Ridley Scott. Then he went to his brother Tony. Mm-hmm. Then he went to Martin fucking Scorsese. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Barry Levinson, Oliver Stone. Like, he did it for the art. He did it. He was a big star. And he used his star power to work with creative minds who weren't just all about the spectacle and making money. And that's why I always respected him.
Okay.
I learned something new for the first time.
What, that every Tony Scott sex scene has a blue filter and it's shadows?
No, is that right?
Dude, think about True Romance, Top Gun. All of his sex scenes look the same.
It's very, he likes
it's
that.
It's blue and it's like their silhouettes.
That's how he likes it.
That's how he likes it. That's his fetish.
I knew that Kenny Loggins didn't write Danger Zone. Like, I knew that he didn't like compose it or write it or whatever, that he was just the voice that they got. But I didn't know that Giorgio Moroder did.
You don't know what you're talking about. Where were you? Were you there?
He's the person that wrote Danger Zone. Like, he did all the basically, except for the lead guitar that's on there, that's some other person, but he did the programming of the drums, the synthesizers, the bum, 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 bum.
You can kind of hear that. Now that you say that.
Dude, I blew my mind. And Top Gun, watching it for the first time ever, I will say that I was lukewarm on the whole thing. I actually also feel like the volleyball scene was less gratuitous than what had been made out in my mind that it was going to be.
Well,
It's gone. It's on and gone before you know it.
Of course.
But there is some butt slapping that happens and like some.
Of course.
It becomes, why was that there? And I feel like even in my head, Val Kilmer's character, Iceman, was made out to be like this super villain or dick of this movie, and he's actually not.
He was a good man.
Still is a good man.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And then right after is a movie I actually freaking love, which is The Color of Money. And you know that I really like The Hustler. And I watched this movie afterwards because I'd always heard of The Color of Money, but I just never knew that it was a sequel to this Hustler movie that I had just watched. I was like, holy shit, that's so wild. Now I'm so excited. I'm going to watch this thing. And I fucking loved it. It was so good. Tom Cruise, awesome in it. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, awesome. Of course, the man, Paul Newman, awesome. And I mean, when you look at these characters, Rain Man, Cocktail, Color of Money, even Top Gun, they're all kind of the same cocky Tom Cruise guy. And he's that same person in here, but he's a little bit more down to earth. Like he's cocky because he's a good pool player, but in terms of whatever else is going on around him, he's a little naive.
Bullshit.
What about Born on the 4th of July and the sequel Born on the 5th of July?
Fuck you! Fuck you!
I didn't see Born on the 5th. Born on the 4th of July is great, man. I mean, it's exactly what you're expecting. It's Oliver Stone doing a Vietnam. He went there, I guess cocky, you know, he wanted to serve his country, came back, got spitted on, or spat on?
Spat.
Lost his ability to walk, you know, and it's about adjusting back in. He turns into basically an outspoken critic of the Vietnam War and all. True story. Climaxes with him, and this really happened where him and his boys, they interrupt, like I believe it's the Democratic National Convention at one point. There's one scene where he's flipping out, like, because he has to move back home with his parents, you know, and all that. Yeah. He's in a wheelchair.
Thou shalt not kill, Mom. Thou shalt not kill women and children. Thou shalt not kill, remember?
He gives it his all, man.
Did he get nominated or anything?
He
for
got
this?
nominated.
Did he?
Yeah, I remember him being nominated, but he did not win.
Hey, you fuck! Hey! God damn you!
Then he jumped into Days of Thunder, back with Tony.
Never saw that one.
Me neither. And Jerry Bruckheimer. I forgot about that. Wow.
Bruckheimer was producing everything too. Bruckheimer produced Top Gun.
Yeah, he did.
He did all that Tony Scott
Robert
shit
Duvall, Randy Quaid, Carrie Elways. What a cast.
It's probably awesome.
Why haven't we watched it? I know. Jesus Christ. Moving on to a movie that I have seen, and if you watch our questionable pickup video, you'll see me gush a little bit about this, which is Far and Away, a movie that he starred in with Nicole Kidman, which I actually saw this in school. That's the reason why I even watched it in the first place, but liked it, and I've always been a fan of it. It's got a soundtrack predominantly featuring Enya. So everything's just coming together for me on this.
I wish I didn't know you.
And then we've got A Few Good Men, which is a movie I've only seen about like 5 years ago for the first time. Fucking love that too. Showed it to Russ, and he didn't like it as much.
You a-hole.
That and Witches of Eastwick were the two movies that made me realize I think Jack Nicholson is my favorite actor.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's...
because it's just so apparent. Dude, he's in the beginning and he's in the end. Guess what the greatest parts of the movie are?
Those moments where he's there.
The beginning and the end.
Is this funny, sir?
No, it's not. It's tragic.
Interview with a Vampire, definitely saw.
He's great in it.
He is.
And it's funny, too, because Anne Rice was against it. The character's not written at all to be a Tom Cruise type. She saw the debut, the opening night or whatever, came out and said, I can't picture anyone else.
I thought that Tom captured Lestat perfectly. He got the incredible strength of Lestat. He got the sense of humor of Lestat. He got the boldness of Lestat. I'm overusing the word boldness, but Lestat really is just a strident, powerful personality.
Well, that's the power of Tom Cruise. Even with that powdered wig on where he looks like a lady the whole movie. The first Mission Impossible, 1996.
I've never seen any of them. And Brian De Palma is one of my favorite filmmakers. And 1996 is about my cutoff point for Brian De Palma.
And then after that, it was Jerry Maguire, which
I actually like that.
Everyone loves. I like that too. I thought that was really good. It was just Tom Cruise, his acting chops, and it was a great drama, great romance. Magnolia, I have seen. I really enjoyed this movie. It feels a little self-indulgent. It's like 3 hours long. There's a lot going on, but damn if Tom Cruise is not friggin' great in this movie. And I think he got nominated for this too. I could be wrong. And he's like a motivational type speaker. It's like a take no shit from anybody kind of person.
Respect the cock. And tame the cunt.
You seen this movie?
Oh, yeah.
What did you think of him in this?
Great.
Great, fucking awesome.
I mean, he steals it.
Mission Impossible 2, again, no MI2. Love the soundtrack. 2002, Minority Report. I get behind this movie. I enjoy this movie. I think this is the first movie I saw Colin Farrell in, and I think he's friggin' awesome in this too. It's a really interesting sci-fi movie. Tom Cruise is about who you'd expect in it. Flawed hero.
I saw parts of it.
Okay.
And not really my kind of movie.
What are you expecting from me?
I think it's actually from here on, the later 2000s and into where we're at now, that things take like weird turns for me. And then all of a sudden he just goes into full, action overdrive. But like The Last Samurai, I always scratched my head on that one. I didn't see it, but I always kind of scratched my head on this. Collateral, I do really like.
Yeah, Collateral's solid.
Collateral was solid. Yep, that was solid for sure.
He's solid in it too.
He is, and I don't like Jamie Foxx at all, but he's passable.
What?
Not as an actor.
What?
I know. I don't know what to tell you. Collateral, he's passable in. I didn't mind him.
Right.
But now Jada Pinkett's in it, and it's sour.
Lions for Lambs.
Yes, so that's
Senator Jasper Irving. How could you forget Senator Jasper Irving?
the only movie he put out in 2007, Lions for Lambs. And then I think he did a great job at Tropic Thunder. I think that was one of the most unexpected things when he was that character. I think people were kind of shocked at that. Probably
Am I the only one who wasn't?
Yes.
I feel like it's because of the profanity and who the character was. Like, you never saw Tom Cruise be that guy before.
First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
To me, Tom Cruise always seemed to have a sense of humor about himself, like in little skits on award shows. Like, I always think of the Ben Stiller impression.
I don't know, it's kind of like we almost finish each other's sentences, kind of.
I mean, I don't think we've ever finished each other's sentences.
All right, I'm going to sit back for Night and Day. Matt, you do your thing.
Night and Day, I did see, and I did like a little fun action comedy film, as it's called here, a little caper. I don't own this movie. I never did, but I would consider watching it again.
I thought you owned Night and Day.
I don't own Night and Day.
Didn't you own that on DVD?
Never.
Sorry to hear that.
Mission Impossible, 2011, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. This is where I jumped on the Mission Impossible train. To me, all these Mission Impossible movies, they give off like a James Bond vibe at this point where there's, secret societies and double agents and cool contraptions and, all kinds of weird shit, like awesome cars and all kinds of shit that's going on. It just feels very similar to that universe. But this is where Tom Cruise started to do some stunts that were pretty like jaw-dropping. And in this one in particular, the scene in this movie where he kind of like steps off into that building and you look straight down, the tallest building in the world or whatever, and you look straight down, the way that they film that, it feels like you're also looking down, and it gives me like the creeps every freaking time. And Tom Cruise is out there climbing on that building. And I mean, there's behind the scenes where you see how they're making sure that he's not going to die, but he's definitely out there doing all this stuff. And then from there on out, he starts to do even more and more, outlandish things.
I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I've seen nothing
Okay.
after this.
So from here on out, it's
Tropic Thunder, I guess, was my last Tom Cruise movie.
The Mummy was a stinker.
You watched it?
I didn't watch. I just mean critically, what the fan said.
Sometimes you gotta say, what the fuck?
They pretty much abandoned the whole idea to do this new cinematic universe for Universal Monsters. This was supposed to be the kickoff, and Tom Cruise was supposed to be the kickoff for this thing, and they abandoned it after it like bombed. So Tom Cruise sunk that franchise.
I should have never started it in the first place. Like, who thought that was going to work?
You don't know what you're talking about! Where were you? Were you there?
Then you got another Mission Impossible, and now we're back to Top Gun Maverick. And then coming 2023 and 2024 will be Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 2. Well, maybe he'll put something out again that you are interested in. Maybe Maverick will be good, but we do thank you, Tom Cruise, for everything that you've done. We hope that you keep on putting your life on the line to make movies and to try to get people back in the theaters.
That COVID rant was sweet also.
That was a
I'm
sick
not
COVID
being
rant.
sarcastic.
Yeah.
That was badass.
We are the gold standard. You're back here in Hollywood making movies right now because of us. I'm on the phone with every studio at night. Insurance companies. Producers. We are creating thousands of jobs, you I see you do it again, you're gone. No apologies. You can tell it to the people that are losing their homes because our industry is shut down. That's what I sleep with every night. In the future, this industry.
I almost felt like for a second people were going to try to spin that on him, like, oh, he's a diva on the set. But when you actually listen to the content of what he was telling people,
opposite.
It was like, you put these people in their place. Like, literally everything is on the line, the way that he was mentioning.
And you know what I didn't like about it either? They were referring to it like Tom Cruise, the actor, who's doing. He's a producer, too.
Yes, it's his
He's in
movie.
charge of this set. And he's looking out for his crew members, and his guys are like,
His
dude,
health.
that's what he's supposed to be doing.
Yes. So I agree. Good rant, Tom. Thank you again for keeping theaters alive.
I was always kind of just had a great work ethic.